How dare you meet my gaze? The alien noble snarled. Forgive me, I said, but you're stunning. Jonah stepped forward in the greeting line and met Archon Seralith's gaze head-on. Her iridescent eyes widened, slit pupils contracting like struck blades. Scales along her neck flared violet. The court chamber fell silent. Crystal chimes, humming from the vaulted ceilings. Lower your gaze, human, she snarled. Voice a whip crack through the translator orb, hovering between them. You challenge my sovereignty. Jonah blinked. He held the eye contact a beat longer standard trust building from every diplomatic playbook he'd read. Then he dropped his stare to her chin, hands open at his sides. My apologies if that's not the custom here, he said plainly. You're stunning. Like living opal under starlight. Gasps rippled through the assembled nobles. Seralith's tail lashed once, coiling tight. Her vizier, Keth Ral, surged forward from the sidelines, robes whispering over polished stone. Archon, this is Breach Protocol 9, Keth hissed, claws tapping a wrist slate. Direct address as dominance assertion, followed by unchallenged flattery, a clear provocation. Seralith raised a clawed hand. Silence snapped back. She tilted her head, studying Jonah through lowered lashes. Her scent, sharp citrus and ozone, wafted closer. Envoy Reyes, she said, slower now. Your species lacks subtlety. Explain this. Compliment. Jonah glanced at Captain Mira Holt, his security lead, who stood rigid 2 paces back. Her eyes flicked a warning. Abort. But the treaty hinged on this first meet. He pressed on. Back home, we say what we see, Jonah replied. Builds rapport. No hidden barbs. You're the most striking leader I've encountered. Keth Slate chimed. Filed. Sanction hearing at 3rd cycle. The envoy forfeits audience rights, pending judgment. Seralith's gaze darted to Keth, then back to Jonah. A faint ridge pulsed along her jaw curiosity. Mira had briefed him earlier, from holovid intercepts. Not. Anger. Denied, Seralith said. He attends. Under guard. Keth bowed stiffly but shot Jonah a glare like shattered glass. Mira leaned in as the line shuffled forward. That was a dominance play in their eyes, sir. Keth's already spinning it. We need to pull back. Aim, Jonah nodded, watching Seralith glide to her throne dais. Treaties on life support. Can't afford retreat. The greeting dragged. Nobles bowed low, eyes averted, murmuring layered insults disguised as poetry. Jonah mimicked, gazed down, until his turn cycled back for the private audience. Guards armored Vayari with energy lances flanked the archway. Inside, Seralith lounged on a levitating seat, tendrils of light weaving data streams around her. Envoy, she called. No title. Progress? He approached the marked line on the floor. Mira halted at the door, hand on her stun baton. Your customs intrigue, Seralith said. Eye contact signals intent to mate or conquer among my kind. Yours? Trust, Jonah said. Or interest. Nothing more. She leaned forward. Her scales shifted from violet to a softer azure. Interest. Blunt. Keth materialized from a side alcove. Archon. The hearing. Later. Seralith waved him off. Her eyes locked on Jonah's chest, avoiding his face. Demonstrate this trust. Convince me your treaty serves Vayar. Goal clear. Sell the alliance. Jonah pulled a holodisc from his vest. It projected trade routes. Resource shares humans' fusion tech for Vayari neural gels. We bridge the gap, he said. Your gels heal our wounded faster than anything we have. Our reactors power your outposts. She traced a claw through the holo. And the insult? Cultural miss. Won't repeat. A smile ghosted her lips rare. Per Mira's files. You already have. Beauty unchallenged. Demands response. Jonah paused. Trap? Challenge accepted then? Keth snorted. Insolence. Archon, invoke the Veil Code. Serelith's tail flicked. No. He amuses. The chamber doors hissed. Mira burst in, baton drawn. Sir, perimeter breach. Keth's agents jammed our comms. Keth whirled. Lies. Security overreach. Serelith rose, lances humming to life. Mira held position. Scans show listener drones in the vents. Keth's frequency. Keth's scales blanched bone white. Slander to derail the hearing. Jonah stepped between them. Check the vents. Truth cuts both ways. Guards swarmed. Drones clattered out Keth's mark etched on casings. Serelith's eyes met Jonah's fully then, unblinking. Heat flushed his skin under that stare. Not fear. Something electric. Betrayal confirmed, she said. Vizier, confined. Keth snarled, dragged away. The human poisons you. Silence fell. Serelith dismissed the guards. Only Mira lingered at the threshold. Your protector acts swift, Serelith noted. Trained for it, Jonah said. She circled him, close enough for her warmth to brush his arm. Seen worse. He held still. Her curiosity pulled like gravity. Stay, she murmured. Beyond the hearing. Teach me. Human. Trust. Mira's voice cut from the door. Sir, that's a mating overture. Logs confirm. See. Jonah's pulse jumped. Forbidden by Veari canon ruler bonds diluted bloodlines. Treaty killer. Serelith overheard, scales darkening. She translates truth. Yet, I ask. He nodded once. I stay. The hearing convened at third cycle. Court packed shoulder to scale. Keth, chained in a force cage, testified first. The human's gaze asserted dominance, he proclaimed. His words, a mating challenge. Archon, exile him, or risk lineage taint. Nobles murmured assent. Jonah stood at the defense plinth, Mira at his flank. Your move, she whispered. Serelith presided, elevated. Envoy Reyes. Respond. Jonah faced the court, eyes down per protocol, except on her. No dominance. Human norm. We collaborate, not conquer. A noble jeered. Prove it. Submit to veil trial. Veil trial. Sensory deprivation. Test intent. Fail. And madness, followed for offworlders. Serelith tensed. Unnecessary. Keth pounced. Mandatory for challengers. Votes flashed on the dais holo. Narrow yes. Mira gripped his arm. Don't. Human baselines fry in those fields. Jonah squared shoulders. I'll do it. The veil chamber sealed around him. Darkness swallowed light. Neural fields probed. Memories surfaced. Earth academies. Lost missions. Faces of crew he'd saved blunt honesty. Pain lanced. He gritted teeth. Focused on the treaty. On her azure scales. Fields spiked. Visions twisted. Serelith's form. Entwined. Forbidden pull. He roared through it. Truth! Fields dropped. He staggered out. Vision spotting. Court gasped. Serelith bolted from throne, steadying him. Her claws gentle on his elbow. Pure intent, scanners confirmed. No deception. Keth raged. Tampered. Silence. Serelith's voice brooked no dissent. Dismissed. Treaty proceeds. Nobles bowed out. Keth hauled away, demoted. Alone in the antechamber, Serelith faced Jonah. Mira posted outside. You endured, she said. Soft. Worth it. He met her eyes. No snarl this time. Her tail brushed his hand deliberate. Dangerous precedent. Bridges start somewhere. She stepped closer. Ozone scent intensified. Then build. Lips scaled. Warm grazed his cheek. A spark. Treaty sealed in secret. Mira's voice crackled comms. Sir, sensors picking up rival fleet signatures. Keth's allies mobilizing. Sarilith pulled back, eyes fierce. They come for war. Jonah grinned. Let 'em. We've got each other. Her claws linked his fingers. Forbidden bridge ignited. Jonah slammed his open palm on the polished obsidian table. Your scanners cleared me, but words aren't enough. Let me prove it right here. Live demonstration. The grand hall fell silent. Tiered benches overflowed with nobles, their iridescent scales shifting in hues of warning amber. Archon Sarilith Vaughn, perched on her elevated throne, multifaceted eyes locked on him, her tail coiled tight around the armrest. Vizier Keth Ral leaned forward from his advisor's dais, mandibles clicking in outrage. Envoy Reyes, Keth hissed, voice amplified through the chamber's resonators. You stand accused of dominance ritual, direct gaze, proximity breach. This court demands restitution, not your crude theatrics. Jonah held the vizier's glare. No flinch. Humans built trust with eyes and hands, simple tools. These Viranthi twisted it into threats. He scanned the hall. Mira Holt stood rigid at the chamber doors, her security detail fanned out. She gave a subtle nod. Proceed. I request the Archon, Jonah said, voice steady. Stand as witness. Reenact my greeting exactly as it happened. Murmurs rippled. Scales flushed deeper. Sarilith raised a clawed hand. Silence crashed down. Bold, she said, her tone a silken rasp. Vertical pupils narrowed. The protocol forbids such intimacy in open court. Keth surged to his feet. Archon. He manipulates. This human savage seeks to ensnare. Enough. Sarilith descended 2 throne steps. Her robes whispered over the floor. Ozone scent, wafting toward Jonah. Up close, her azure scales gleamed like polished sapphire. He offers proof. We observe. Captain Holt. Secure the perimeter. Mira's team snapped to positions. Laser sights flickered across exits. Keth seethed but retreated to his data slate, fingers flying to summon recorders. Jonah stepped into the hall's center, marked the spot with his boot, measured distance. 3 paces. Standard human envoy protocol. He paced it out slow, boots echoing. Sarilith glided forward. Her courtiers leaned in, tails twitching. She stopped precisely 3 paces away exact. Now, Jonah said, open palms, sign of peace, no weapons. He raised both hands, fingers splayed wide. Slow, blink, deliberate, twice. Then, locked eyes. Held for 3 seconds. Smile. Greetings, Archon. Honored to serve the treaty. Her scales rippled. A faint violet flush crept up her neck frill. Pupils dilated. No snarl. No recoil. The hall erupted. Nobles hissed, claws scraping stone. Dominance. He stares. Keth jabbed his slate. Scans confirm. Gaze intensity exceeds Viranthi tolerance by 200%. Jonah dropped his hands. That's it. Non-hostile. Builds rapport. On Earth. Averted eyes signal deceit. Sarilith circled him slow. Her tail brushed his calf accidental. Ozone thickened the air. Your kind. Bear vulnerability so? Trust starts bare, Jonah replied. Hide nothing, lose nothing. She stopped before him. Closer than protocol. Multifaceted eyes scanned his face. Inches away. Fascinating. Primal. Forbidden. Keth's voice cut through. Archon! Public punishment exile him. Sarilith whirled. No. Her claws flexed. This court adjourns public session. Private follow-up interview. Envoy Reyes. Antechamber. Now. Nobles gasped. Keth's mandibles gaped. Mira shot Jonah a thumbs up as guards herded the crowd out. In the antechamber, crystal walls hummed with privacy fields. Sarilith entered alone. Mira posted outside with her team. Jonah leaned against a console. Pulse steady. You risked much, Sarilith said. She shed her outer robe, revealing scale patterns that shifted like living art. Why? Treaty needs truth. Jonah met her gaze. No blink. Your rules blind you to ours. Her frill flared. Our etiquette preserves harmony. Directness shatters it. Yet she stepped nearer. Tail swayed. Demon straight. Again. Private. Jonah obliged. Palms up. Slow blinks. Eyes locked. This time, her claws grazed his wrists. Warm. Testing. Feels. Exposed, she murmured. Like shedding armor. Exactly. His voice dropped. Powerful. Right? Violet flush deepened. She traced a claw along his palm. Dangerous. The door hissed. Keth stormed in. Data slate clutched like a weapon. Archon, I protest. Protocol demands oversight. Sarilith stiffened. Vizier, I've assigned a minder. Keth snapped fingers. A sleek drone whirred from the ceiling. Lenses glowing. It records every word. Gesture. For the archives. To protect our ways from this. Bluntness. Jonah tensed. Mira's voice crackled in his earpiece. Sir. Drone's military grade. Armed with paralytics. Keth's turning words into traps. Sarilith's tail lashed. Unnecessary. Essential. Keth bowed low. Eyes gleaming. Rivals watch. One misstep. Treaty crumbles. She waved dismissal. Keth exited, smirking. Drone hovered. Red light pulsing. Speak freely, Sarilith said to Jonah. Voice low. He grinned. Can't. Logs everything. Her eyes sparked. Then show. She closed distance. Palms met his. Slow blink mimicking him. Ozone enveloped him. Scales brushed his skin. Electric. Mira's warning buzzed. Sir. Keth's courtiers circling outside. They're baiting a scandal. Jonah ignored it. Focused on Sarilith. Your curiosity breaks rules. Yours ignites them. Her breath warmed his cheek. Claws linked fingers. Forbidden pull. The drone beeped, recording spike. Keth's allies would weaponize this. Cultural breach. Romance. Outlawed. But Sarilith didn't pull away. Interview continues. Tomorrow. Private. Jonah nodded. Bridge forming. Outside. Mira intercepted him. That tail brush? Deliberate. She's hooked. But Keth's drone feeds rival factions. Incoming probe. Your greeting as assault. Let them probe. Jonah glanced back. Sarilith watched from the door. Eyes fierce. Courtroom turned lab. Curiosity trumped condemnation. Hours later, in his quarters, Jonah reviewed Mira's scans. Rival courtiers mobilized whispers. Comms lead up. Sarilith's voice encrypted. He grabbed his jacket. Mira protested. Sir, treaty first. Jonah slipped out. Vault corridors gleamed cold. Sarilith waited in a data sanctum, drone absent. She pulled him into shadows. No records. Her claws cupped his face. Teach me more. Lips met scaled. Warm. Alarms blared distant. Mira's voice. Sir, Keth's guards inbound. Sarilith broke kiss. Jonah grinned. Run together? Her tail coiled his waist. Build the bridge. They dashed into vents. Forbidden romance sparked amid intrigue. Keth's trap snapped shut too late. Rivals. Schemed. War. But human honesty forged the weapon they couldn't break. Deep in the palace underbelly, Sarilith sealed a hatch. Breath ragged. Your world's ways. Intoxicating. N-line. Jonah pressed close. Walls thrummed with pursuit drones. Ours. Value choice. Yours. Hoard. Power. She traced his jaw. Keth hoards fear. Uses rules as chains. Pupils dilated. You snap them. All. Mira's team breached above. Blaster fire echoed. Captain incoming, Jonah said. Cover? Seralith activated a console. Holomap flared. Rival fleet signatures massing at system edge. Keth's allies. They strike if treaty falls. Hell. Political blade sharpened. We expose him, Jonah said. Palms open. Blink slow. Your way. Her laugh rare. Melodic. Our way. Claws linked. They surged toward command core. Guards swarmed. Mira's voice roared. Sir, hold. Seralith unleashed bioelectric pulse from Frill. Foes dropped twitching. Human grit met alien fire. Collaboration ignited. Keth waited in throne room. Traitors! Seralith faced him. Vizia, your logs falsified. Drone wreckage smoked at her feet. Jonah held the real data core. Keth's frill flared crimson, spines erect. Archon, this human defiles our sanctity. Direct gaze. Unyielding posture. He dominates you. Jonah gripped the data core tighter, its cool metal grounding him amid the throne room's glow. Hollow thrones hummed. Guards flanking Keth with shock lances primed. Seralith stood firm beside him, tail tip brushing his calf, a subtle anchor. Logs, Vizier, Seralith said, voice steel. Your falsified transmissions to the rival fleet. Play them. Keth sneered, claws clicking on his console. You break edict, 12-7. Foreigners barred from core access. And you, his gaze snapped to Seralith. Yield to his stare? Your pupils betray fascination. Forbidden. Jonah met Keth's eyes without flinching. Human habit. Built trust back home. Here? It read as challenge. He kept palms open, shoulders loose. No escalation. Mira's voice crackled in his earpiece. Sir, my team's holding the corridor. Drones down, but fleet signatures confirm 3 cruisers inbound. 30 minutes. Copy, Jonah murmured. He stepped forward, data core raised. Vizier, play the logs. Truth cuts both ways. Seralith's frill pulsed blue approval. She nodded once. Keth laughed, sharp as shattering crystal. Truth? Your honesty insulted us from arrival. Recall. Envoy? First. Audience. Jonah's mind flashed to that chamber. Days ago. Marble vaults. Courtiers in layered silks. Seralith on her throne. Regal scales, shimmering under aurora lights. She'd leaned forward then, multifaceted eyes narrowing. Envoy Reyes, explain this human right. Why lock gazes to claim veracity? Among Vailari, it asserts supremacy. Jonah had blinked, straightforward. No games. Archon. Eyes show intent. We look to connect, not conquer. Dodge the gaze. It signals deceit. Courtiers hissed. Keth's tail lashed. Direct words, blunt human tool, landed like slaps. Seralith's head tilted, frill flickering curiosity. Demonstrate. He held her stare, calm, open. Her pupils dilated fractionally. Shock rippled her scales. Back in throne room now, Keth spat. You bewitched her with that insolence. Seralith's claw grazed Jonah's arm. He taught reciprocity. Vizier. Jonah pressed the core into a pedestal slot. Holologs erupted. Keth's voice. Encrypted bursts to rival lords. Treaty falters. Archon's weakness, human taint. Strike at dawn. Gasps echoed. Guards shifted. Keth snarled. Lies. Fabricated by off-world tech. Not fabricated, Jonah said. Verified chain. Your codes match. Seralith turned to her guards. Seize him. They hesitated, eyes darting to Keth. The Vizier thrust a dominance gesture, frill full flare, claws splayed high, gaze locked downward in command. Standard Vailari hierarchy. Jonah knew it now, thanks to stolen lessons. Days back, after that first quiz, he'd asked her privately. Garden alcove, bioluminescent vines pulsing. Archon, teach me your signals. I blunder otherwise. Her tail coiled loosely, rare informality. Watch, she demonstrated. Low gaze for deference. Frill dim for submission. Spine arch for yield. Then she tested. Raised claws in dominance cue, eyes piercing. Jonah complied, dropped gaze, dimmed posture, but held dignity. No flinch, no grovel. Palms open, breath steady. Her frill shimmered violet. Fascination. You yield without fracture. Humans. Bend. Not break. She'd granted the token, then a crystal amulet etched with foreign exception. Hung it round his neck. Limited grace. Ignore minor breaches. For alliance. Keth had exploded. Archon. It undermines etiquette. Chaos. Now, Keth repeated the gesture at the guards. They wavered. Serelith countered higher flare, deeper arch. My command supersedes. 2 guards lunged for Keth. He shocked one with his lance, biopulse crackling. The other tackled him. Jonah dodged a flung console shard. Serelith yanked him behind a throne pillar. Her body pressed close, scales warm against his uniform. Intimate, she whispered, tail wrapping his leg, pupils wide. Focus, Jonah said, but grinned. Her touch sparked heat. Forbidden bridge, indeed. Mira burst in, blaster sweeping. Clear left. Sir. Fleet accelerating 15 minutes. Expose it all, Jonah said. He keyed the Corps' broadcast. Logs beamed palace-wide. Then to allied ships. Keth thrashed under guards. The romance. Archon defiled by alien flesh. Edict forbids, courtiers murmured. Eyes on Serelith and Jonah. Too close. Tails and hands linked. She straightened, frill defiant. My choice. Human candor freed us from your chains. Flashback surged. Stolen nights. After token grant, Keth's traps escalated. Poisoned chalice at banquet eye contact. Demand. Misread. As threat. Jonah sipped anyway, plain spoken. Tastes off. Test it. Scandal. But saved her. Then vents chase. Kiss in shadows. Her lips electric, tail coiling tight. Your gaze pierces veils. Now, alarms wailed. Rival fleet pinged holomap warheads arming. Captain Holt fired suppressing shots. Sir? Evac? Or fight? Serelith activated throne defenses. Force fields snapped up. Fight. Together. Jonah nodded. Pulled his sidearm human kinetic slugger. Velari lances fizzed energy. His punched holes. Keth broke free, lunged at Serelith. Jonah intercepted, tackled low. Human mass advantage pinned him. Yield, Jonah said, eyes locked. Honest stare. Keth spat. Dominance. No. Truth. Serelith's pulse from frill dropped Keth twitching. Mira hauled him to restraints. Holocom flared. Allied Fleet Commander. Archon. Logs received. Rivals veering off. Relief hit. Treaty held. Serelith faced Jonah, claws tracing his jaw. You refused escalation always. Even now. He shrugged. Compliance with dignity. Builds bridges. Her laugh rang, melodic, unbound. Tail coiled his waist openly. Courtiers gaped. Keth groaned from bonds. Fleet retreats. But courtiers plot. Your union shatters precedent. Serelith raised the exception token, now glowing brighter. Precedent evolves. Jonah. Full grace. Eyes open. She pulled him into kiss. Public. Defiant. Her frill hummed against his chest. Mira cleared throat. Sir. Perimeter secure. But scans show insider signals. Keth wasn't alone. Jonah broke kiss, hand on Seralith's scale. Who? Holomap zoomed. Chamberlain's quarters. Seralith's eyes hardened. Inner circle. Hunt them. They moved as one. Human grit, meshing alien fire. Guards parted. Deep in palace veins, new intrigue brewed. But honesty forged ahead. Blaster ready, Jonah matched her stride. Bridge unbreakable. Her whisper. Teach me more worlds. Gladly. Fleet shadows faded. Rivals scattered. But Chamberlain's door hissed open ahead. Silhouette waited. Lance gleaming. Mira tensed. Ambush. Seralith's tail tightened. Ours. They charged. Word count aside. But pure prose. Wait. No. Don't include that. But in response, pure. Now, expand to 1,400. This is short. Need to flesh out. Add more action. Dialogue. Sensory. Integrate beats more fully. Make scenes with goal. Conflict. Outcome. For example, expand the flashbacks into fuller scenes. But since limited point of view, Jonah recalls through his senses. But better to interweave as present references. But to hit word count. Describe the confrontation more. Write forward with more detail. Let me outline quickly. Start. Keth accuses. Jonah inserts core. Keth brings up past, triggering Jonah's memory of first quiz scene. Expand that as recalled scene. Then Jonah asks for signals. Expand. Test dominance. Grant token. Keth infuriates. Then back to present. Fight. Expose. Romance moment. Fleet. New hook. Yes, use memories as he. Jonah burst through the hissing door. Blaster raised. The silhouette sharpened into Vizier Keth Ral. Lance humming with charged energy. Keth's multifaceted eyes gleamed under the chamber's stark lights. Traitors! Keth snarled, tail lashing. You defile the Archon's grace. Mira Holt snapped her rifle up, covering Jonah's flank. Seralith's guards fanned out. Plasma blades igniting. But Jonah held fire. Keth. Stand down. This ends now. Keth laughed, a chitinous rasp. Ends? You began it, human. That banquet seat I placed you in honor, I called it. Challenge ritual unspoken. You turned it to mockery. Jonah's grip tightened on his blaster. The memory hit like a gut punch. The grand hall. Crystal spires humming. Alien nobles in silken robes whispering, as servants guided him to the seat, right beside Seralith's dais. Too close. Their eyes widened, dominant stare. He'd learn later. No human diplomat dodged that. He'd sat anyway, plain-spoken as always. Lifted his glass. To bridges, not walls. Your customs intrigue me. Teach me yours. I'll share mine. Cheers erupted wrong, some furious, others stunned. Seralith had risen, clinking her goblet to his. Accepted. She'd purred, her tail curling in signal. Protection granted. Publicly, Keth's leak of the footage had twisted it. Hardliners called her weak. Now this ambush. Mockery? Jonah shot back, stepping forward. Mira hissed warning, but he waved her off. I toasted unity. You rigged the board. Keth's lance whirred higher. You stared into her eyes. Direct. Dominant. Forbidden, unless Bloodright won. I seated you there to expose your barbarism. Prove humans unfit for treaty. Seralith growled low. Vizier, your traps end here. But Keth ignored her, fixating on Jonah. Jonah's pulse raced. Fish out of water again. Their etiquette layered like code. Tail flicks for hierarchy. Eye angles for intent. He'd begged Seralith for lessons after that banquet. Late nights in her private wing. Her scales brushing his arm as she demonstrated. Watch, she'd said, tilting her head precisely. Low gaze defers. High claims lead. Her tail had looped his wrist, intimate. Risky. He'd mirrored her, Clumsy at first. Laughed when he botched it. Humans lock eyes to trust, he'd explained. No games. Her fascination sparked then. Show me. Fingers traced his jaw. First kiss, stolen. Electric against cool scales. Back in the chamber, Jonah met Keth's glare. No time for full ritual. He dropped his gaze low, shoulders slack submission signal, then flicked his own tail, improvised with a hand wave, the pattern Seralith taught for equals. Keth recoiled. You ape our signs? Insolence. Not ape. Learn. Jonah straightened, holding the equal stance. Test me proper. Or admit your game's up. Keth lunged, lance thrusting. Jonah dodged left, blaster barking a stun bolt. It grazed Keth's shoulder plate, sparking. Guards clashed Seralith's blades, singing against Keth's loyalists pouring from side vents. Mira dropped two with precise bursts. Jonah, cover! He rolled behind a console, firing. Seralith vaulted a table, her tail whipping a traitor's legs out. She landed beside him, breath hot on his neck. Your memory serves. Flawless signals. Practice. He grinned, popping up to stun another. Keth rallied, voice booming. Archon weakens. Human taints her. Seralith charged him, blade locking his lance. Sparks flew. Jonah flanked, tackling Keth's legs. They crashed down, Jonah pinning the vizier's arms. Yield. Footage proves nothing but your plot. Keth spat, mandibles clicking. Hardliners mobilize. Fleet inbound. Your treaty dies. Seralith knelt, blade at Keth's throat. Jonah hauled Keth up, slamming him against the wall. Mira patched into the palace net, uploading chamber cams. Keth's lance draw. His accusations. The ambush clear. Seralith's eyes locked on Jonah's. Direct, dominant, her rule broken again. She pulled him close, scales warm against his chest. You turn traps to truth. Lips brushed his brief, fierce. Forbidden spark reignited. Mira cleared her throat. Fleet signatures rising. Hardliners ships, 10 minutes out. Seralith nodded, tail squeezing Jonah's hand. Inner circle. Hunt their core. They bound Keth, guards dragging him to cells. Jonah matched Seralith's stride through palace veins, blaster hot in his grip. Human grit meshed alien fire. Alarms wailed distant, deep corridors twisted, bioluminescent veins pulsing red breach alert. Mira scouted ahead. Contacts. Armed. Seralith signaled halt. Their vault. Treaty seals stored. Goal clear. Secure docks before fleet strike. Jonah kicked in the vault door, gas hissing. He held breath, waving through. Inside, consoles flickered. Two hardliners spun, rifles up. Mira dropped one. Jonah blasted the other. Seralith yanked seals, crystalline rods etched with accords. Explosions rocked above. Fleet's firing. Mira barked. They sprinted back, seals clutched. Seralith's whisper cut tension. Teach me more worlds, Jonah. Gladly. He squeezed her hand. Bridge. Unbreakable. But shadows loomed, fleet cruisers blotting stars visible through viewports. Rivals scattered, but one ship detached, lance ports glowing. Incoming borders. Mira tensed. Ambush inbound. Seralith's tail tightened. Ours to crush. They charged the hangar, blasters blazing. Human honesty had sparked romance, shattered plots. Now, it forged war's edge. Hangar doors groaned open. Enemy shuttles screamed in, ramps dropping. Dozens poured out hardliner elites, blades drawn. Jonah fired first, dropping the lead. Flank left. Seralith leaped center, tail lashing like a whip, cracking armor. Mira laid, suppressing fire, her rifle chewing through ranks. One elite lunged at Jonah, blade slicing air. He parried with blaster stock, drove knee into gut. Alien crumpled, gasping at human bone density. Sarilith fought beside him, synced, her plasma carved path. His bolts cleared it. Your endurance, she panted, admiring. Endless. Adrenaline, he grunted, stunning two more. Fleet rattled the palace shields holding, but cracks showed. Consoles screamed overload. Mira yelled over comms. Borders thinning. But their command shuttle docks now. A hulking figure emerged from it, High Arbiter Voss, Keth's puppet master. Broader than Sarilith, claws extended. Archon falls. Purge the soft. Sarilith roared challenge. Jonah covered her rush. Voss met her blade, matching fury. Sparks lit the hangar. Jonah picked off Voss's guards, each shot precise. Mira flanked, rifle barking. Voss overpowered Sarilith, pinning her. Weak for loving vermin. Jonah charged, blaster forgotten, tackled Voss full force. Human mass slammed alien bulk down. Fists flew, Jonah's knuckles split scales. Sarilith rose, blade plunging. Voss gurgled, ended. Silence fell. Bodies smoked. Fleet retreated, hardliners broken. Sarilith pulled Jonah up, eyes direct. You fight as kin. He wiped blood. Partners. Mira scanned scopes. Fleet scatters. Treaty safe. But a new ping echoed distant, alien signature. Not theirs. Sarilith stiffened. Federation scouts. They watched. Jonah's gut twisted. Bigger intrigue brewed. Honesty bridged species but drew eyes. Sarilith's claw tapped the console. Envoy Reyes. Restricted gallery. Now. Dismiss your guard. Jonah holstered his blaster. Blood still smeared his knuckles from Voss. He glanced at Mira. She nodded once. Rifle slung. Comms open. I'll shadow the door. He strode down the corridor. Palace shields hummed faint now. Federation scouts a distant blip. Servos whirred as bulkheads parted. The gallery unfolded. Crystal vaults lining walls. Artifacts glowing under null-grav fields. No guards flanked Sarilith. She stood alone. Back to him. Iridescent scales shifting under her robe. Archon. Jonah stopped 5 paces back. Standard distance. You summoned. She turned. Her multifaceted eyes locked on his. Direct. Forbidden. Guards. Out. Her voice echoed off crystal. 2 lurkers peeled from shadows, mandibles clicking protest. Doors sealed behind them. Jonah's pulse ticked up. Post-battle haze lingered. But this felt charged. Different. What's the play here? Sarilith glided closer. Her tail swayed, low curiosity signal. He'd learned. Or danger. The treaty holds. Hardliners broken. Yet eyes watch. She gestured to a pedestal. A human relic sat there. His gift from arrival day. A simple steel chronometer. Untouched. He nodded. Federation scouts confirmed it. Bigger game. More. Her claws flexed. You fought as kin. Touched my blade rhythm. Human endurance. She paused, gaze drilling. I break rules for truth. Show me yours. Jonah weighed it. Cultural minefield. Direct eye contact challenged her nobility. Compliments? Dominance play. But she'd just knifed Voss with him. Aid. Weed. S. Partners. Human protocol first. Gifts build trust. This chronometer tells time across voids. Precise. Reliable. He extended a hand. Palm up. Empty. Permission to approach? No contact unless you say. Her head tilted. Scales rippled fascination. Consent granted. Demonstrate. He stepped forward. Slow. Retrieved the chronometer. Held it out. Press here. It sinks to your pulse. Her 2 fingers, slender. Cool brushed his palm to take it. Protocol shattered. Skin met scale. Sarilith froze. The device beeped, lighting her claws blue. But her eyes widened. Touch. Describe. Honest. No court veil. Jonah's skin tingled where she'd grazed. Rough texture. Like fine leather over steel wire. Warmth seeped through. Alien pulse, thrumming faint. Feels. Solid. Textured. Your fingers cooler than mine, but heat builds fast. Strong grip. Precise. Like holding a live circuit. She pressed closer. Chronometer forgotten in her grasp. Human skin yields. Soft. Her free hand hovered near his jaw. Hesitated. Again. Truth. Consent? He held still. Breath steady. Given. 2 fingers landed on his cheek. Light pressure. Traced the bone. Jonah catalogued it. Her touch. Electric. Static, prickling follicles. Scent hit ozone and spice. Sharper than human sweat. Smooth scales. Micro ridges catch light. Pressure even. Curious. Not probing. Exploring. His voice stayed level. Pulse races under them. Yours. Saralith's breath hitched. Audible. Her eyes flickered shock. Hunger. No human lies. You name it plain. She leaned in. Inches now. Tail coiled tight. Court calls this dominance. Mates claim thus. Forbidden. Human normal. Jonah didn't pull back. Builds trust. No games. A chime pierced the air. Harsh. Red lights pulsed along the walls. Saralith snapped upright. Alert. Wing lockdown. Bulkheads groaned. Seals hissed shut. Gallery trapped. No exit. Jonah's hand dropped to his blaster. Instinct. Keth? Her comm buzzed. Vizier Keth Ral's voice snarled through. Archon. Intrusion breach. Scandal protocol engaged. Remain. Inspectors en route. Saralith snarled. Claws raked air. Keth. Override. False flag. Protocol unbreakable. Direct gaze. Skin contact witnessed by cams. Treaty poison. Static cut. Jonah scanned. Crystal walls opaque now. No vents large enough. Mira. Status. His comm crackled silent. Jammed. Saralith paced, tail lashing. He turns misunderstanding to blade. Old etiquette. Ruler untouchable. Your honesty? Assault in their code. Assault in their code. They're weaponizing the touch. Jonah positioned between her and the main seal. Back to wall. Blaster low ready. How long till inspectors? Minutes. Keth controls them. Her eyes met his again. Defiant. He craves my throne. Voss failed. This wins it. Footfalls echoed outside. Multiple. Jonah's mind raced. Gallery layout. Side alcove, with shield emitter. Could overload for breach. Risky. Options? She clutched the chronometer. Glow reflected in her scales. Fight. Or yield. Fight. 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 Or yield. Not yielding. He grinned. Blunt. Humans didn't fold. Your move. Partner. Saralith's claws clicked. Resolved. Gallery core. Null grav override. Drop us to sub-levels. They bolted. Jonah covered rear. Her lithe form darted ahead. Robes flaring. Console ahead glowing runes. She slashed code. Field hummed. Alarms wailed louder. Seals pounded. Voices barked. Breach! Nullgrav flipped. Jonah's stomach lurched. They plunged through floor grating. Service shafts swallowed them. Cool air rushed. He twisted mid-fall. Grabbed a rung. Saralith landed cat-smooth beside him. Sublevels clear. She gasped. Pulled him along dim tunnels. Biolum vines pulsed faint light. Keth's trap sprung empty. Mira's voice broke through jammed static. Jonah! Wing sealed. Keth's men swarming. You ghosted? Ghosting. He sprinted after Sarilith. Rally at extraction. Sarilith halted at a junction. Turned. Fingers brushed his wrist. Brief. Electric again. Truth saves us. Again. Partners. Jonah squeezed back. Once. Consent. Unspoken. Shouts echoed above. Keth's hunters dropped in. They ran. Tunnels branched endless. Sarilith navigated by instinct. Scales shimmering in vine glow. Jonah matched stride. Human lungs burned less endurance edge. She glanced back. Admiration flickered. Federation watches this. Romance? Leverage. Or bridge. He vaulted a grate. Beat Keth first. Vizier's voice boomed from overhead grates. Archon flees with vermin. Protocol demands purge. Sarilith laughed. Sharp. He fears your plain words more than blades. They burst into a maintenance bay. Human shuttle waited Mira's doing. Ramp dropped. She waved them in. Rifle scanning. Strap in. Keth's locking palace grid. Jonah buckled. Sarilith beside him. Close. Her tail brushed his leg. Accidental? No. Thrusters roared. Bay doors forced. Stars wheeled. Keth's face filled external cams. Twisted fury. Treaty ends. Forbidden taint. Shuttle punched void. Shields flared under pursuit drones. Mira piloted hard. Evasive. Treaty fleet inbound hours. Sarilith gripped Jonah's arm. Claws dimpled skin. Not pain. Anchor. Your touch lingers. Describe. Now? He chuckled. Blunt. Warmth spreads. Steady. Like trust locking in. Her eyes held his. Direct. Palace rules be damned. Mine too. Drones closed. Mira jinked. Incoming fire. Jonah unstrapped. Manifold station. Human hands flew override hacks. Drones stuttered. Fell inert. Sarilith watched. Fascinated. Precision. Endless adapt. Teamwork. He locked eyes. Your nav got us clear. Fleet signatures bloomed. Treaty ships. Keth's gambit crumbled. But console pinged. Federation hail. Demanding audience. Sarilith straightened. Eyes close in. Our bridge? Their target. Jonah nodded. Honesty forged it. Now. Defend it. Together. Jonah slammed the comms panel. Envoy Reyes, acknowledging Federation hail. Transmit coordinates. We're bringing the Archon. Mira banked the shuttle hard. Treaty cruiser loomed ahead, hangar bays yawning open. Drones scattered under point defense fire. Sarilith's claws dug deeper into his arm. Her scales rasped against his skin, cool, textured, alive. They're scanning us, Mira barked. Biolocks confirm Archon aboard. Docking now. Thrusters whined down. Ramp hissed open. Marine escorts snapped to attention. Rifles low. A stern admiral strode forward, flanked by protocol drones humming with translators. Envoy Reyes. Archon Vaughn. Vizier Rahl broadcasts accusations of palace breach and coercion. Federation Council demands public adjudication. Follow. Jonah unstrapped. Offered Sarilith his hand. She took it. Her four-fingered grip locked firm. No hesitation. They stepped into the cruiser's sterile corridor, Mira shadowing with drawn pistol. Elevator hummed to the central dais. Vast chamber ringed by holoscreens. Galactic feeds live. Thousands watched human fleets. Alien enclaves. Keth's spies. The dais rose like a judge's bench. Polished alloy. Oath stones embedded at each end. Human crystal hummed blue. Sarilith's obsidian shard pulsed violet. Admiral halted them center stage. State your purpose. Treaty hangs by this. Jonah faced the lenses. Sarilith beside him. Tail coiling tight. Keth's face flickered on a side screen. Pre-recorded rage. Coercion. Vermin defiles our Archon. Purge the taint. Goal clear. Bind the truth publicly. Seal their bridge. Jonah squeezed Seralith's hand. Spoke blunt. Words alone fracture. Oaths endure. I propose a truth binding. Human crystal vow, fused with Archon's shard right. Public. Combined. No lies survive it. Gasps rippled through feeds. Seralith's eyes widened, direct stare unbroken. Her court forbade such intimacy. Direct gaze? Dominance. Shared oath? Sacrilege. Yet her tail tip flicked toward him. Curiosity won. You risk exposure, she murmured. Voice low. For him alone. My status shattered. Worth it, Jonah said. Honesty's our weapon. Keth twists shadows. We light them. She nodded, sharp. Turned to Admiral. I consent. Perform the rite. Now. Crowd feeds erupted. Admiral's brow furrowed. Precedent forbids hybrid oaths. Risk nullification. Seralith stepped to the dais. Placed palm on obsidian. Precedent bends to survival. Proceed. Jonah joined her. Crystal warmed under his touch. Marines cleared space. Holochants began human solemnity, layered with alien harmonics. Seralith's voice rose first, lilting syllables binding intent. By shard's echo, truth anchors. Deceit crumbles. Jonah matched rhythm. By crystal's light, vows hold. No fracture. Their hands met over the stones. Energies surged blue-violet flare. Feeds captured it. Human bluntness merging alien precision. Seralith's scales flushed deeper hue. Her gaze locked his. Heat built where skin met scale. Forbidden spark. Applause built from human sectors. Alien murmurs shifted shock to awe. Then Keth's voice cut in. Live feed hijacked. Vizier loomed large, waving a data slate. Halt! Forged security report. Human coerced the Archon logs, prove palace override. Dais lights dimmed. Holoscreen split. Keth's slate projected. Timestamps falsified. Jonah's shuttle hacks twisted to show forced docking. Seralith's biosigns spiked under Durus. Crowd roared. Admiral raised hand. Vizier Ral, present evidence. Keth smirked. Irrefutable. Treaty voids. Purge. Seralith tensed. Claws pricked Jonah's palm. Her tail lashed, rage veiled. Jonah stayed calm, hands steady. Receipts. Say otherwise. He tapped wristcom. Mira fed court recordings. Palace originals. Timestamp locked. No hacks. Real-time logs scrolled. Keth's own voice from grates. Beat. Keth. First. Escape. Unprovoked. Feeds flipped. Keth's forgery cracked wide. Timestamps mismatched by hours. Palace cams replayed. Seralith, laughing, choosing flight. Voluntary. Keth sputtered. Tampered. Human deceit. Check hashes, Jonah said. Federation chains verify. Your slate? Forged metadata. Drones hummed. Scanned. Red alerts blared on Keth's feed. Seralith straightened. Voice amplified. Vizier Ral, your traps fail. Oath binds. Treaty holds. Admiral nodded. Forgery confirmed. Ral detained pending inquiry. Forgery. Forgery. Feeds exploded, victory chants. Human crews pounded bulkheads. Alien nobles bowed holo heads. But Jonah caught it. Seralith's subtle lean into him. Shoulder to shoulder. Her scent sharpened musk of relief, laced with want. Tail brushed his calf. Deliberate now. Mira sidled close. Whispered urgent. Keth's not done. Palace loyalists massing. Fleet skirmishes reported. Seralith overheard. Gaze met Jonah's again. Direct. Palace rules, shattered forever. Our bridge strengthens, but eyes close in. Jonah nodded. Oath energies still tingled. Then we cross it together. Admiral approached. Oath accepted. But council escalates. Full integration audit. Your union under review. Union. The word hung. Forbidden. Seralith's claws tightened. Not retreat. Claim. Keth's feed winked out. But a new ping hit Jonah's comms. Encrypted. Mira's eyes narrowed. Incoming intercept. Assassins en route to cruiser. Shuttle bay alarms wailed. Footsteps thundered. Intruders breached outer locks. Seralith drew a concealed blade from her sash. Scales bristled. They come for us. Jonah pulled his sidearm. Mira flanked. Defend the dais. Buy time. Marines formed up. Blaster fire echoed corridors. Their bridge blazed. Truth forged in fire. Now blooded. Seralith spun to face him. One breath. Your warmth anchors me. Same, Jonah said. Fired first shot. Fight smart. Win clean. Intruders poured in, clad in palace black. Keth's fanatics. Blades gleamed. Disruptor pulses cracked air. Mira dropped two with precise bursts. Flank left. Seralith lunged. Blade danced alien grace severed a disruptor rifle. Jonah covered her, human reflexes plugging gaps. One fanatic charged. Jonah sidestepped, cracked knee. Downed him clean. Seralith watched, eyes alight. Endless adapt. Beautiful. Teamwork, he grunted. Reloaded. Your blade carves paths I can't. They synced. Her strikes opened lanes. His fire sealed kills. Mira called vectors. Marines rallied. Last fanatic fell. Bay secured. But scanners pinged. More inbound. Keth's cruiser warped in rogue faction. Admiral barked orders. All ships. Battle stations. Seralith sheathed blade. Gripped Jonah's arm. Federation tests us. Survive this. Our rules rewrite. Jonah met her gaze. Heat surged. No palace. No vizier. Just them. Deal. Mira hauled them to evac shuttle. Strap tight. Keth's boarding parties teleporting. Void battle ignited. Treaty fleet clashed rogue hulls. Their shuttle punched clear. Seralith beside Jonah again. Close. Tail entwined his ankle. Anchor. Console flared. Keth's final broadcast. Taint spreads. Purge all. Jonah hacked it silent. Honesty's receipts stacked higher, but Seralith's whisper cut deeper. He turned. Hand to her cheek scales smooth fire. Her lips parted. Alien curve met human. Kiss sparked. Oath sealed personal. Explosions rocked hull. Mira evaded. Incoming boarders on tail. Their bridge burned bright. Enemies closed. Fight on. Boarders materialized in the shuttle's cramped hold. Plasma rifles spitting azure bolts. Jonah rolled left. His sidearm barking twice, center mass on the lead invader. Scales shredded. The alien crumpled. Flank right. Mira snapped, her carbine chewing through armor. She dropped two more. Seralith uncoiled like lightning. Her blade sang free, severing a teleporter arm mid-charge. Blood misted the air. They breach our bond! Jonah synced with her flow. He fired low, cracking knees. She finished high. Precise slashes parting throats. Mira covered the hatch. Grenades priming fanatic clusters. Last boarder lunged at Jonah. He sidestepped, drove elbow into jaw. Crack! Seralith's tail whipped the intruder's legs. Jonah stamped down. Done. Alarms silenced. Mira punched the console. Clear. Punching to rendezvous. Seralith sheathed her blade. She gripped Jonah's collar, pulled him close. Her scales flushed violet. Lips met his again, fiercer. Scales, rasping skin. Heat, pooled. Survivors claim victory, she murmured against him. He grinned, thumb tracing her jaw. Teamwork. The shuttle docked with the treaty flagship. Marines swarmed. Admiral Voss met them at the bay. Rogue cruiser captured. Keth. In custody. Fanatics routed. Seralith straightened, regal fire in her eyes. Convene the court, now. Hours blurred into hyperspace, jumped back to the Archoncy core. Palace spires gleamed under twin suns. Jonah flanked Seralith as they strode the grand hall. Courtiers parted. Whispers hissing like steam vents. Vizier Keth knelt at the dais, manacled, scales dulled gray. Seralith mounted the throne, tail lashing. Vizier Keth Ral, you weaponized tradition against survival. Your audits twisted truth. Your rogue fleet spilled blood for etiquette. Keth bowed lower. Archon,